hello, and thank you for pulling up today. I hope you're well, and we also wanted to, I know that you all are making it a great new year. If you're out there right now, we're still in winter. We're in the middle of what I call Black History Month. I don't know when you'll be hearing this, but we want to make sure that we celebrate those that are not just in the past, but you're also here right now making history, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what the show is all about. It's about pulling up and talking to people and having conversations about things that are going to stimulate you there. And that was the concept behind this. So this thing started with me working out, being funny on social media, talking about pulling up and showing people the illustrations of different things that you have to pass by in order for you to pull up. And what would happen is that people would come to me and say, man, I pulled up today. So the pull-up is about preparation. The pull-up is about us recognizing what we're capable of, because I think that everybody wants to be the best part of themselves. So that's what this is all about. We try to ask people to come in and pull up and have conversations, and hopefully it stimulates you. Because as I talk about Black history, we're all doing it every day. And that's why we want to highlight people that are what we would call normal people, but they're doing extraordinary things. So are they normal, or are they all extraordinary? With that said, I have the awesome opportunity today to talk to friends of mine, but they're doing extraordinary things. Felicia and Dennis Johnson are friends of mine here in Fort Wayne. But when I tell people is we're talking to people in communities, but they're doing big things no matter where they're at. You got 4 children that are doing outstanding. You got Jaleesa, you got Dennis, Michaela, and Kobe here. We're going to be talking about what she's doing in terms of being a state champion gymnast, but also a state qualifying athlete in 3 sports, including gymnastics. And so we're going to talk about that because this gymnastics thing was just huge. But, Jaleesa is an attorney in 4 different states.
Yes, sir.
4 different states. Yes. And Dennis is a business student, but now is going to be playing some professional football or doing some things of that nature. And Michaela is at Spelman, doing big things as well. So with that being said, hello.
Hello.
How are we today?
Real good. After a great message in church today, feeling real good.
Awesome, and that's what it's all about. So today I'm glad you guys pulled up, and took a minute for us to make this happen. Mm-hmm. But that says a lot about you all and the busy things, and I just appreciate you all sharing your story today. So we're just going to have a conversation and talk about your family, you all, and your approach to doing this thing. Because as I said, there are people out there that are, even when it comes to parenthood, they're trying to figure it out, right? Mm-hmm. But you have this awesome athlete here. This is how I began to really start to understand what you all were doing. Kobe. Yeah. She is a Indiana champion gymnast, and that is awesome, right?
Yes.
And I think that is outstanding because we don't see a lot of images, particularly in the Midwest, of Black girls doing that. So to take that on was a bit of a challenge, I bet. And so I want to talk to you guys about that. I want to hear from you, Kobe. So Kobe, what does it feel like? I mean, when did you start gymnastics and being interested in those things?
Well, I started gymnastics when I was 3, but I started competing around 6, pretty sure. So I've been competing since I was 6.
Okay. So why gymnastics?
Well, she put me into gymnastics. Right. But I just stayed with it because I liked it. It was fun. It just gave me ways to run all my energy out, because I went from when I started competing, we started going 4 hours a day, 4 days a week. So
at the age of 6, we started competing. You're doing that 4 hours a day.
Yes.
It's a pull-up moment. 6 years old, not complaining. And as Kobe said, she really started to want to do that. Started when she was 3, so obviously you have to do that. So you're competing 4 hours a day. Did you complain? Was it?
Absolutely. But she told me I was going to be there. So
okay.
it was like, yes, there's always days I don't want to go. It's just you're there for 4 hours. And sometimes in the summer, we would be there 8 hours a day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So It was just I did not want to be there.
So there was no vacation Bible study in the summer. It was gymnastics, right?
Correct.
In the summer. Wow.
She would get her 4th of July break. Probably that was
2
it.
weeks is the only break you get the whole year.
Okay. Dennis and Felicia, talk about that. Why gymnastics?
I noticed early on when we were growing up with all 4 of them in the home, Kobe was the last child, and she took forever just to grow. She was always a little tiny, itty bitty something. And I would say probably at the age of 1 or 2, Kobe was flipping all over the house, teaching herself how to do backflips, 3 years of age, and she would go out on the trampoline. She actually excelled past her second oldest sister, Michaela. They both were in gymnastics, and Kobe would try to migrate over to the more advanced group of students that were with her sister Michaela, and then finally we just realized this is where she needs to be. And just seeing her being active at Southside, she would always go to my son's games. She was a little miniature cheerleader that they added to the team. Okay. So everywhere we went, she was just flipping all over the place. People were giving her dollars just to see her flip. So we knew right then and there this is the sport for her. But I think also just seeing just a handful of black young ladies that look like us that did gymnastics, like Dominique Dowles. Yeah. And Gabby, I think Gabby was at that time, right. Gabby Douglas, and then came Simone Biles. So I think she continued to look up to them, and I just continued to let her know that, hey, you have to stay the course.
Courage. And so we're going to talk about you all as parents in terms of that kind of courage, but for you, to talking about some of the things that you were doing, you could have very easily said, which is what most of us do, I'm just going to do cheerleading.
Yes.
You said, why not just do cheerleading? Why did you decide that I'm going to pick this up and do gymnastics now and be more serious about it and personalize it?
Well, I tried cheerleading.
Okay.
And I did all-star cheer for a year, but it just wasn't like I did it while I was doing gymnastics. It just wasn't the same. And I had all my people on my team. They're my friends, and I'm still on the same team as them. So it's just I preferred gymnastics over it. It was more work. I felt like it was more like home than cheer. Cheer just felt weird to me.
So let's talk about that. So I'm a former coach, and so I like when people talk about work. That's why we talk about pull up, because it's about preparation. Talk about what it takes to be at the level that you're at when it comes to gymnastics.
Oh, it takes a lot of dedication. I mean, you have to be there. Well, during high school season, you have to be there 5 days a week, sometimes 6. You have to be there for 4 hours every single day. So it's just it takes a lot of dedication, and you have to have passion. If you don't have passion, you're just not going to want to do anything. So it's
a pull-up moment. This is a junior in high school that talks about passion. You're exactly right about that. Passion is what it's all about. You have to have something you're passionate about and a desire. So because part of what you do, as I understand it, because I could never do it, by the way. First of all, I'm not that limber in terms of what I do. But the mental focus of doing that. And then I want your parents to talk about that too, but what do you do to protect your mental capacity so you can be ready and be prepared? What do you do?
I take a lot of mental days. Okay. She lets me take some days, if I need, and then it's just you go with gymnastics, especially even when I was at cheer, it just wasn't as hard mentally as gymnastics. Even track and all of volleyball, I get a little anxiety when I'm about to compete. Well, not when I'm about to run for track, but not necessarily gymnastics. That is a different kind of anxiety. It's actually when you're competing, it's one-on-one and you're by yourself. So there's nobody there to help you besides your coaches, but they're not the ones out there competing for you. So it's just you have to literally be strong. You literally have to be mentally strong. If you're not, it's not going to work for you.
Right.
So yeah.
So what would you do? So what? And I don't want to give out no secrets, right? But how serious is that? And I'll ask your parents that too. Because that's a lot. And so you have to be protected. Yeah. This is serious. But there are people that move, as you all know, just like for tennis, people move in different areas of the country to be away from their family so they can focus and compete. So how do you all do that? How do you all do that to protect her from doing that, from so you can be focused?
Oh, so I just know my coaches play a huge role into it. Like, if I'm like everybody has mental blocks, everybody has like, and like they're a real thing, and it's actually like really terrifying when you have a mental block. But you just have to, like, it's your coaches. Like, your coaches literally have to push you, or it's never gonna work. Like, they tell us, like, we cry at the gym like all the time, and she's like, okay, go to the bathroom, and we go to the bathroom for like 30 minutes, then we come back and we have to do it. Like, she tells us if you don't do it, like, you're not gonna ever do it. So we have to keep doing it, and every day we have to like rack up how many times we do it, so like our fear is just gone, and like there's no mental blocks or anything with your mental.
So when you say coaches, so obviously you have your high school coaches.
Well, so my high school coach and my club coach is the same person.
Oh, wow. Now that's
She had the opportunity to grow up from Summit Gymnastics under the Nix family, so it's a family-ran gymnastics school, and those coaches also coach at Bishop DeWanger High School. So she attends that high school, so she had the opportunity to be coached through the club as well as the high school all in one.
good.
Yeah.
Good. So you two talk about, because what Kobe's talking about is the in-season coaching, but you all have to be intentional too. You have to protect that. You all are athletes yourself, or you have other kids that are athletes. So what's different about coaching a gymnast in terms of protecting their focus? What do you have to do for that?
Oh, it's totally different. I'm gonna be honest. No background when it comes to gymnastics as a black female. We were growing up, we couldn't afford that, so it was something I just put her in. I still don't know a lot of the terms when it comes to gymnastics. She's trying to teach me. Her coaches do a great job teaching me, and I also join groups through social media that's titled Black Gymnastics. Parents in black gymnastics, and try to follow them to understand it. There's a lot of resources out there in those groups that I'm part of that help me to understand what do I need to provide for Kobe to make sure she's successful, because it's very challenging. There's a lot of unknowns on my end. And yes, I didn't start experiencing the unknowns until she entered into high school. She was doing club as on top of high school. Club is more important than high school, but she did both. And then she had a meltdown her freshman year. And I didn't know how to deal with that as a black parent, a black female parent. And I said, hey, is it something I need to do to make sure that your needs are met or to help you? I would talk to the coaches. Consistently, very supportive coaches. Rose Nix and her daughter Andy, amazing. They always had pointers for me, but it's not talked about in our community when it comes to therapy as well. But she was able to, she's a strong young lady. She's stronger than where I was when I was in sports.
Sure.
Something I've never seen before. And she, not just going to a school that's predominantly white, she's done great with that, trying to balance that on top of being the only black female on the gymnastics team. So I think she realized, oh, this is tougher than what I thought, but she was able to pull herself through. And then here comes the next year. I think the following year she had started to understand the transitions to high school versus when she was just a middle school, high school, and club. And I think sophomore year went pretty well. She had her ups and downs, but the good outweighed the bad, as we know. And then this year has been been very challenging as well, because she had a hiccup with her injury. And I do know that that's been a rocky road for us, the mental piece of it. So we actually have a nutritionist as well as a mental health specialist that she's starting to meet with virtually. And then I always make sure I'm communicating with her. I'm learning to just lead with being that more supportive parent, that more with grace and more speaking without the yelling, speaking with just being so gentle with her, that gentle parenting, somewhat, not all there, but somewhat, to where checking in on her. Are you okay?
Sure.
I can tell when my daughter's not okay. I can tell when she's walking out the gym, she's crying or she shuts down. So I check on her. I stay prayed up. I'll be honest, that's some of the mental we use. Give it to God. I talk to my girlfriends, talk to the community, but most importantly, I'm making sure I communicate with my husband, let him know, because she normally just comes to me, depends on me. But then I would say that the coaches have been very supportive, and then we just registered her, like I stated previously, that she sees a mental therapist every month, because it's not getting easier. It gets tougher the higher you go up in gymnastics.
That's what of course I knew you two, but when I saw what she was doing, what I recognized immediately, Dennis, as a father, was I was just looking at the work that was behind it. Yeah, you were doing great, Kobe, but I'm like, there's a lot of work that goes behind it.
Yes,
and when
sir.
you just described, that's a lot.
Yes.
So then it's as a father, man. I mean, I know you coached athletics and stuff like that. So how does that work as a father of a gymnast with all those challenges in terms of what were some of the things that you had to do as a father to support Kobe?
Well, first of all, I'm a glorified carpool father. So that's the first and foremost, because you got to put all that time in, taking them there, bringing them back, picking them up. So I'm so glad that we almost at the end of that route. She got her license, and that is tremendous.
Which is important. I'm going to pull up on that because when you talk about that carpooling thing and being available for that, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Particularly with this type of sport. So that's not a small thing, when you're talking about that. That's just, and again, as a father, you're like, man, you want to get in, and coach is like, well, look, let me get in where I fit in and be that carpool. What else? I mean, what are some of the other things that you've noticed from your perspective?
Well, since she been the last one, I think I was a little more hands-on with the first three. I kind of handled the sports side of it, in particular with my son, because he played football and, did things that I really did. Ran track a lot too. So she been the last. I think her schedule is more rigorous than all of them combined. She does a lot. So we kind of give her space. So I think it's more or less giving her space, check in with her. Just seeing what her mental space is at each particular day, each particular meet, just checking in with her just to see where she at, and just give her little tidbits about about life, about lessons, and how to deal with a few things. But more importantly, her and her mom got a particular bond on this particular sport. I think Felicia has jumped ahead of me when it comes to sports on this one.
And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And let me say something, if I can, just as a man, I want to say something to that, what you just said. And this is a pull-up moment again. We do pull-up because we want people to take special attention when people say unique things. As a man, that's often we don't do that, is acknowledge that someone else had to step up and do something to probably make it better, and understanding what your part of the team was. And I want men to really understand that if you're out there. There's nothing wrong. Team, period. Man or woman. There's nothing wrong with somebody having an identified role and then understanding that I have to be able to adjust to do something else, man. So I'm going to applaud you for that and acknowledging Felicia over here in terms of what she was able to do in that moment, man. So obviously it looks like it was easy for you to do that as a father. You understood that after having, this being the fourth one. So it was kind of easy for you to understand that, huh?
Well, I think, the older you get, things change, You got more energy, you got more enthusiastic about, things you're doing for them. But in the same sense, as the older you get, you kind of understand where your position is. So,
that's right.
And my position is I'm falling back a little more, let her step up a little more, because I remember going to the football games and she done went to the car. I got to sit out there in the cold rain and it's 0 below, and you know, but I'm kind of used to it playing sports myself. So but just understanding the overall dynamics of it, because it's a team, and I tell my daughters that all the time. It's a team. We got to go to work while y'all got to do what y'all got to do is practice, because y'all don't have a job. You don't need a job, because we're going to support, doing this endeavor. So, like I say, it's just more or less, just knowing where we at and where she's at.
And we're going to talk about that because that's what's behind this, and I really want to focus on that, and Kobe, because I want what you've done, and because I think it's important for us to give you young people to make sure we recognize y'all talent and abilities, because the world is not most of the time, right? And so I want you to know this came about because of you, because of your uniqueness, okay? Do you recognize that? Are you how? Because I know you're confident. She came right in here, y'all. I'm gonna tell you, she came right in here. She knew what she had to do. There's nothing nervous about her, and being prepared and understanding who she is. Talk about confidence. Talk about your confidence.
Well, I just feel like you have to be confident in everything you do, especially being me being the only black female there. Like, I have to be confident, because if you don't have confidence, you're not gonna do well. Like, your body and all of that, like, it reflects on how you act. So if you're down and like you're not going to perform well, so that's like when you do bad on one event, you got to have confidence for the next event to like keep going.
So let's back up a little bit. In gymnastics, what is your specialty? Because there's plenty of things. What's your specialty?
Vault and floor.
Okay. All right. So you're not. So talk about that. What's the vault and floor? What is that?
So vault is like the one where you run and you hit the little springboard, and then floor is you're tumbling with your dance. And clearly, like I know me personally, like I've always heard this when I was growing up, that I have a lot of power. So like that's why I excel more in vault and floor than bars and beam. Like bars, they're really not my thing, but it's okay. Like you have to do all of it just to like succeed and do well. So that's why I prefer vault and floor over
sure
bars and beam.
So we talk a lot about gymnastics, but I also saw you in track, and I'm a track guy.
Yeah.
And so I noticed immediately how balanced you were in your core and how strong you was. I mean, you're talking about somebody that comes out clearly in the middle of the season, not in track shape. By the time you're in track shape, it's state.
True.
And you're still one of the premier runners in the area. And that says a lot. This is a very competitive city when it comes to that. So is that a lot of mental when it comes to that track, that you just believe in yourself? Is that what that's about?
Well, it's also my track coaches too.
Okay.
Like I know my freshman year, I was terrified. Like I thought I was gonna go out there and get walked and just be dusted and be in the back. And I would be like, oh, like that was literally like, that still is my biggest fear. But it's like my coaches, like they used to always let me know, like you're not slow. Like they're always like my coach, he's always like, oh, you have to go out there and like when you're at the start line, you have to tell yourself that you're gonna win this race. And that always like helps me. Like now I don't need their help really. Like I just know what I'm doing. Yeah, I got that confidence.
I love it.
So it's like when I'm at the start line, like everybody, you know, they be talking stuff to other people, but it's like nobody says anything to me. So
Because your resume.
Yeah,
you come in there. You know what I mean?
I just know, like, I don't speak to nobody. I just
stay focused.
Right. Now, right now, we should say you're coming off of an injury at the last part of the injury, so you haven't been able to compete this year like you wanted to in gymnastics.
Not in gymnastics, but she did finish. She was able to compete in volleyball.
Okay. And volleyball went well?
Yeah, we got state runner-ups.
What I like about Kobe is, and it says a lot, again, about the family, is you're really about team. You've mentioned coach 3 times in this conversation. That's a pull-up moment out there for y'all young athletes, or even if you're out there working professionally, right? There are people, network of people that you have to do, and you have to listen to people that are mentoring and those type of things.
Amen.
So the fact that you talk about the team, you talk about coaches, those things are important. What does Kobe want to do when she grow up?
I want to be a plastic surgeon. But I also want to, like, do, I don't know which sport, but I want to do one sport in college.
Okay, now let's talk about that. I wasn't going to bring that up, but I saw y'all over the summer, and y'all was in L.A., and I'm following you. I see it. Now, I saw you raising up one school, and I know that y'all was there for some stuff, but I know that you was there for some other stuff, too, because I know how y'all get out. You're a junior. You know, when we were all juniors, they was asking us, what schools were you looking at? What schools are you considering right now? Would you like to be at? And it's going to change. I know that because mine's changed like 10 times.
It changes all the time.
Okay. Give me your top 3.
My top 3? Ooh, I don't really have one, but I know, like, gymnastics. My top 3 is probably University of Michigan or I don't really know. Really, like, it's whichever. Like, I just feel like, well, my dad always tells me, whichever one got the biggest, like, the highest offers where I'm going to go. So, I don't really, like, I just have, like, schools that I would like to go to. Like, I would like to go to University of Michigan. I'd like to go somewhere hot. Like,
okay, you want to not be with this mess?
Yes, I want to go to, like, I wish Fisk still had theirs because I would love to go to Fisk and then, like, Wilberforce.
Wow.
But for track, Miami.
Okay.
Miami, or I'd want to go to University of Florida, or
IU?
Yeah, see, IU is cold. I don't really know. Probably somewhere in California.
Okay. Well, good. And you don't have to know that right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I was reluctant to ask the question. But, you know, the one thing I want to say as we wrap up about you, keep dreaming. The one thing I like about you, including that last answer, is that you don't really know, but you have all these different things that are important to you, right? And so keep doing that and keep believing in that. So I'm going to leave you with your own last words. What do you want to say? Is there anything you want to say about competing? If there's something you can say to maybe a little girl out there that's looking at you right now?
I would like to say that you always have to be confident, and even when you're not, you got to fake it till you make it. And always listen to your coaches, because I know sometimes I always think that I know what I'm talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. But at the end of the day, they have what's best for you. So,
Good.
Amen.
Thank you, Kobe. And again,
Look at that.
you're amazing. You're amazing. Whatever you decide to do, whatever sport it is, I know it's going to be off the hook, and you're going to be talented at it because you set up the right way. The foundation's there. So keep dreaming and keep doing big things. So thank you, Kobe.